First of all, thank you guys so much for 300 subscribers. I can't express how happy I am to see you guys engaging and commenting and having a discussion in the comments below. Yeah, no, I don't want to waste any more of your guys' time. Enjoy the video. Hey, you. Yeah, you. Who else do you think I'm talking to? Let me ask you something. Come here.
Come on, coward. Coward! I know that I want to punch you in the nose. I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a...
What is your favorite genre of film? Action? Yeah, it's fun. Romance? Nah, that's dead. How about comedy?
Okay, fine. What are you doing? Are you trying to find my G-spot? Just stick it in. I don't know. I've never done this before. Stick it in. Go.
Have you ever sat down and thought to yourself, man, why aren't these movies hitting the same way they did as when you were a kid? I would get terrified by the mere mention of Bloody Mary. For years, I would hesitate to enter my own bathroom because of that damn mirror, and was afraid that even just thinking about saying Bloody Mary 3 times would lure her pasty ass and have those greasy ass hands come grab me through the mirror and send my fat ass flying through it, which I don't care how powerful she is not that strong enough to get my, at the time mind you, I was overweight, big ass figure through the mirror because I did not want to risk that chance. Oh crap, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, movies. Specifically, horror movies. Now, I absolutely love horror movies. Anytime I have the chance to creep myself out with a good scary story, I would jump at the chance to do so because other than action or comedies, horror movies are amongst my favorite genre of any medium. I mean, the variety is insane. You have action horror, scary comedies, survival slashers, supernatural horror, you name it. But you want to know which one is truly underrated in my opinion? Like the one that I go out of my way to see more than any of these other types I just mentioned? Yeah, you read the title. It's found footage horror movies. Marble, your things are ass. Those movies are cheap and poorly produced. Motherfucker, you're cheap and poorly produced. And you don't see me complaining now, do you? I don't care that some of them are shit. I love them either way. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'm kidding. Yeah, I do.
Dude, this is dark web.
Some of the best ones are covered in tremendous atmosphere, which makes you feel like you're there with the characters. The best ones know that the scariest aspects of horror aren't the cheap jump scares, but the feeling of uneasiness you get when you enter the unknown. It's that build up and payoff aspect of it that makes this genre worthwhile. I love watching scary YouTube videos, especially before I go to sleep. Is that weird? I don't care, screw it. So I get a kick out of found footage movies. And when they're great, they're some of my favorite movies. So ladies and gentlemen, are you tired of shit acting, bad pacing, terrible atmosphere? Well, look no further as we look into some of my favorite found footage movies. Together, here are the... I'm going to be brutally honest with you. These are probably some of the best found footage movies you're ever going to see. The only thing is, the entire movie franchise is in Spanish. But it's okay because there's subtitles. Don't let the fact that these are foreign movies distract from how good these movies actually are. Specifically, the first two are great, but that's besides the point. The first movie deals with a reporter who is covering the lives of firefighters and how they live on their daily basis. As you would expect, it's sunshine and rainbows with everyone smiling and being happy, blah 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 blah. Typical horror movie tropes. She plays basketball with the guys. She isn't very good. Until they get a call from an apartment building, which is really when the movie starts. When they arrive, the lobby is filled with residents that have evacuated from their rooms. Side note, I love when the reporter and cameraman join the firefighters, you hear the others acknowledge and question why they're being filmed. Because of course they would ask that. The firefighters decide to go up to the room where they first heard the screams that initiated the call. And then we agreed to this.
¿No oye la ambulancia? Tranquila.
Puto caso, Pablo, sigue grabando.
No para, tranquila. Dejar de grabar ya.
Perdón, lo siento, ya está.
No se preocupe, señora. Sergio, despéjame esto, joder. Mientras llegue la ambulancia, no quiero ver a nadie por aquí. Oye, ¡lo estamos viendo!
So this pretty much goes as well as you would expect, and they had to drag his fat ass out the room while he bleeds to death. Except he's screwed because literally before they get him out the building, the police gets notified and literally moments after they quarantine the whole building. So they might as well start picking out their tombstones because look at the group we have here. One of the security got his ass ate, the other has a baby ass pistol, the rest are firefighters, old people, this couple, a mom, a dumb child, and a reporter with a cameraman. Surely they're gonna make it out alive. From here on out until the credits roll, the movie gets dialed up to 11. The acting is another thing I want to bring up, because let's be honest, when it comes to these low budget horror movies, some of them are ass. Like, it's so bad it becomes distracting and completely takes me out the movie.
We put a state senator in jail. Yeah, and that was a really good thing, but now they're saying this place is haunted. Oh, come on, Molly. Don't tell me you believe in ghosts. You two track down Mitchell today and get him to meet me.
Gotcha.
What are you doing? I'm calling him to this show.
This movie though, the acting elevates the scenes and adds more tension to an already well produced movie. Also, these people are mad racist. The residents are all blaming the Chinese for what's going on.
Son los chinos estos que comen crudo, el pescado crudo. No, ellos para así salen y entran gritando todo el tiempo en chino, en japonés, no sé.
Which pissed me off the first time I seen it, considering this little girl right here is mad sus, talking about how her dog got sick and shit. Of course the mom is stupid as fuck and oblivious to it. Overall, good movie. The sequel though, it's when it gets crazy. I'll be honest, the first movie is better, but this is still a fun watch and I count both movies as one. This time, the film takes place immediately after the original's ending. The characters from the first movie weren't the only ones to get inside the building. You see, this time, the perspective is from a group of SWAT men that are assigned to go inside the same building from the first movie. As they're entering, you see how much news coverage and busy the entire street got during the events of the first movie. Also, you have this guy who is important, but that's for later. So these guys are tasked to protect this scientist, Dr. Owen, who is there to investigate the cause of the outbreak, as Owen believes that the cure for the disease is somewhere inside that building. Now don't get me wrong, this is a contrivance for sure, considering of course the only cure of the disease would be inside the only place in the world where everything so far has been taking place in, but it keeps the focus dead set inside that building, which is a good thing for me. Unlike the first movie, this time the movie gets good immediately, as this time our main characters are armed with guns and protective gear, so they should be able to get the job done, right? Of course, it's never that easy, especially since unlike the first film, they have to deal with an entire army of zombies after everyone from the first movie got infected and now are after them. Before this, however, the SWAT team investigates the penthouse for any clues. While that's going on, they find an attic and have one of these guys go inside. In there, you find this little guy. Oh, isn't he cute? I'm telling you, this feels like a Resident Evil game on steroids. Also, one thing I want to know is that because the SWAT team all have cams on them, we're allowed to see from multiple perspectives, which will be important for later in the movie, especially when these stupid ass kids come in. I should mention this, during the midpoint of the movie, it is revealed that these guys weren't the only ones to get inside the building. Nope, at this point we're introduced to Mr. Dumb and Dumber here, and we get to see how these kids managed to get inside. Alright, so remember the guy from early in the movie that I mentioned? Well, it's revealed that he was the father of the daughter who we saw in the first movie. Remember the one with that stupid ass dog that got infected? And when he got the client to go inside to check up on them, he decided to take it upon his own hands and asked a firefighter to help him go inside some other way. The kids noticed this, however, and followed them to this open manhole cover. The girl, being the only one with decent brain functions, refuses to go inside and tells them it's a bad idea. But this meathead manages to persuade her into going with them. Once inside, they immediately notice the cops are also down there in the sewers with them, trying to block off any entranceway in the building. It cuts to them inside the building where they discover a gun, probably from what happened in the first movie. They, however, notice that they aren't the only ones inside that room and try to go see who it is. After this, it's discovered that the police sealed the only exit they had, so now, just like the people from the original, are screwed. This other perspective is honestly nuts in how unorganized and chaotic everything gets, more so than before. Watching this group just lose it and knowing they're done for, while obviously tragic, is hilarious to me. Like, what were you thinking going inside here, and how else did you think this was gonna go? There's more I want to say about what happens, but I'd rather let you guys experience these two movies on their own. I also want to say there are sequels, but they're kind of bad and nowhere near as good as the first two. Alright, on to the next movie.
Damn, bro. All right, dickwads. Check this out. All right, that's about as raunchy as I'm gonna get.
A while back, this TikTok went viral and was my first introduction to this franchise. This clip specifically is from the third movie, but because I'm an asshole, I won't be talking about that one. At least not in depth. No, the one I want to recommend is the first installment. This movie is presented as a documentary, which is pretty unique in my opinion, as it feels almost more real. What further solidifies this is when they show footage from a couple of friends in line for the grand opening of a new haunted attraction. We are showing the couple going inside, and from first inspection, it looks to be going well. However, the fun lasts about as long as this guy trying to hold on to the merry-go-round. As they continue enjoying the attraction, they start noticing that something isn't right. First with this random clown running away, then with this lady who apparently seems to be working there urgently going somewhere as if something bad has happened. The signs continue to build up until they start heading into the basement. Now, they don't show what happens there, but we do see the aftermath of what happens right away. Police are called, people running away in fear, deaths are reported, it gains coverage. The movie is mainly centered around Sarah Havel, who reached out to do this interview for this documentary. At this point, she's the only one we see in the present tense. The rest of the movie basically covers the time taken months prior to the events leading up to the grand opening. In comparison to Record, this movie isn't as crazy or unintentionally funny as those movies, but they're more focused on character and the team dynamic of this group rather than the overall plot like Record was about. This movie is also way creepier and focuses entirely on the atmosphere to scare you. Now, I will say that this movie does take a while to really get going. It really sets up character first and foremost before getting into all the scary shit. If you don't mind movies that have a slow burn to them, then this shouldn't be a problem, but I'm only warning y'all because some of the people really want all that scary shit right away. After all the setup, we are introduced to these guys.
Whoa, shit, dude. What's up, man? What are you looking at? Holy!
I love how demonic they look. Like, I would shit my pants if I see this in a dark hallway. I'm also happy that they didn't go with the whole paranormal activity ghost thing that have grown ass people pee on themselves whenever they see a door shift to the right. Like, ooh, it's scary, the blanket moved. You know what's actually creepy and effective? This.
I think we're in fucking business, man. How many freaks did we have?
3 freaks. Oh, what's going on?
Are you sure?
Positive.
Holy shit. Tony, let me out!
This is how you effectively use the found footage format in a creative way. God, I hate Paranormal Activity. There really isn't much to say about this considering I don't want to reveal every detail of the Hell House, but if you like creepy, atmospheric movies with a slow build up to the chaos, then go watch it. I highly recommend it. It's fun for the whole family to enjoy. So the final movie I want to talk about is one I've seen actually very recently. So recently, in fact, I had no idea about this movie when I first started writing the script for this video. Being made by the one and only M. Night Shyamalan, directors of such groundbreaking masterpieces like The Happening, The Last Airbender. Okay, I'm being a bit harsh, but he actually directed some pretty good movies like Split, The Sixth Sense, and as of recently, out of all the movies I talked about, this is the most popular one. Well, relatively speaking, that is. The Visit is actually the most grounded of the four as well, being more of a horror comedy, which I'll be honest is a hit or miss for me.
Now in the end, you'll be in my bed. We won't be just friends. You write inappropriate texts and hit send. We share the Starbucks for tea.
Now the movie isn't perfect, nowhere near close, but this is M. Night Shyamalan's return to form after consistently making some of the worst movies ever made, I think. Not being about ghosts or demonic possessions, it deals with our two main characters, Becca and Tyler, who got sent to visit their grandparents after they managed to find their mom's contact info and asked to see their grandchildren. The kids agreed to this, and from here on out is where the movie begins. The reasoning this time for why the movie is found footage is that Becca wants to make her documentary about the trip. Not very complicated, but it works. Unlike Hell House, this movie doesn't have a slow burns pace and immediately begins with the weird shit. Right away, something is off with the grandparents, who from now on I will call Nana and Pop Pop. They just have this weird vibe to them, like they've never interacted with people before. Like, I know they're old, but it's very awkward. Both the actors who play Nana and Pop-Up do an incredible job here, especially during the nighttime scenes, when shit really goes down. The grandparents are so out of bounds in this movie, it's insane. Especially Pop-Up. I mean, he literally keeps a mountain of diapers covered with shit inside his shed, which makes Tyler freak out. Also, one thing I need to mention, Tyler absolutely hates germs. This isn't a massive important detail in the overall story, but I swear to God, I feel like M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dongs intentionally kept this detail for this one scene.
You have a problem with germs, don't you?
Anyways, speaking of children, whenever you have a horror movie that deals with kids, especially with them as main characters, filmmakers always have this tendency to make the kids substantially stupid. Now, don't get me wrong, these kids are pretty dumb from time to time.
Would you mind getting inside the oven to clean it? All the way in.
But this movie never makes the intention of making them incompetent, as whenever Nana and Papa couldn't get any more weird, the kids decide to call their mom to get them out of whatever insane asylum they got themselves in. At this point is where it's revealed the big plot twist of the movie. You see, M. Night Shyamalan loves this twist. He practically has them in almost every one of his movies. Now, if you're watching this movie and you're paying attention, you most likely would have figured out what the big twist is, but just in case, I won't spoil it here. It's pretty good in my opinion and makes the third act way more intense and creepy. Overall, this movie, not perfect, but generally creepy when it wants to be and unintentionally funny when it doesn't. Now, I know this genre isn't exactly home to masterpieces like dramas or science fiction movies, but honestly, who cares? Sometimes you want a movie to just scare the crap out of you. I'm not going to pretend like I'm a film enthusiast, but I really do like watching movies, and I honestly think the horror genre is the absolute peak in terms of showcasing the very best potential of what movies can do on a filmmaking level. Found footage movies are no exception. Sure, some can be downright awful trash with lame visuals and bad jump scares.
Dude, this is dark web.
But when done right, these type of movies can have your eyes glued to the screen. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below and tell me which are some of your favorite horror movies. Or else I'll summon Bloody Mary to your homes and steal your PS5s.
They all the same. They keep your mess from spilling out and they keep it contained. So here's the truth. I got messed up with a killer who's truly insane. I will try not to refrain. Try to overcome my pain because one day...